For Dale Earnhardt Jr. and millions of Americans, race day is the biggest day of the week. But there are many moments leading up to Sunday. Systems to tune, equipment to test. Literally thousands of adjustments and preparations that make the big day possible. These take place on the other days of the week, away from the watchful eyes of devoted fans, on the 6 days leading up to race day. And you're about to live them with Dale Earnhardt Jr. Here at Hendrick Motorsports, racing doesn't begin and end on Sunday. It happens every day of the week. From the moment last week's car returns to the facility, the clock is ticking, and preparations for next week's race begin. It is a never-ending cycle, a closed loop of engineering that never stands still. This car probably looks like a heap of beat-up sheet metal to you and me, but to the mechanics, the engineers, and all the other specialists on the team, it's a laboratory on wheels. Tearing it down holds clues to what went wrong and what went right, what held up under extreme conditions of heat and speed, and what needs to perform better next time around. Doing better next time around is the responsibility of nearly 100 people who make up the number 5 and 88 teams. Specialization is the order of the day. There are 82 specialists in the Hendrick engine program alone. The Hendrick chassis department was the first of its kind in NASCAR. They've turned out more than 300 cars in the past decade, manufacturing many of their own parts. Even the tire department at Hendrick has its own engineers and testing specialists. It's an all-encompassing facility that can produce a rolling chassis with complete body in less than a week's time. By the time this 3,400-pound Impala SS is driven by Dale Jr. next Sunday, 75 pairs of hands will have touched it, encompassing 500 man-hours of analyzing, testing, and fine-tuning. Everyone here knows that the difference between winning and losing in NASCAR is a matter of fractions of seconds. The moment of truth. Dale Earnhardt Jr. arrives at Hendrick midweek to check in on the car he'll be driving on Sunday. For both driver and team, the direct interaction is critical. Mechanics and engineers get a true feel for race day with Dale Jr. in the car. This will be his chance to give feedback, ask for adjustments, and make sure everything is just so. This is the day everyone steps up their game. Always trying to step up their own game is the pit crew. 7 over-the-wall mechanics who can wrestle a 3,400-pound car into new tires and fuel in less than 15 seconds. If Dale Jr. is the man behind the wheel, these are the men behind the machine.
We go over with the crew chief every week on Monday to get the adjustments that we anticipate. Look at the box size, the pit box size, so we can tell Dale how quick to get in, how fast to come into it so it doesn't slide through. Practice all of our adjustments, then we just practice fundamentals beyond that. We like for Dale to come. You know, the guys get all amped up when he's here, the intensity picks up. We like to see him come.
Sometimes, not too often, but sometimes the drivers come up and practice with them. I could have used the practice every once in a while, especially after wintertime, to come up here and practice a little bit. Getting into the 12-second pit stops were really fast, and those guys are doing a couple 10-second stops here every once in a while.
To stay on top of their highly choreographed game, the crew needs to be in top physical condition. Given the intense physical demands, these are athletes in every sense, often recruited from top college sports programs. They practice live pit stops 3 times a week. That's on top of intense physical and cardiovascular workouts. If they're not performing at their best, neither is their driver. And every second lost on pit road translates into 100 feet on the track.
I think one of the most exciting things with working with Dale Jr. is, I mean, just everything he brings to it. I mean, he also has the desire that he wants to win. So, I mean, I think it all together, it makes it a perfect situation for the team and the driver to have together.
You prepare a little differently, I think, every week. You think about the track and what happened there last time, or how well or how unfortunate that race might have went. And you just try to think about how you can do better. Did y'all do all right?
Huh?
Did y'all do all right?
1050. Need another chip in there? Yeah. He's hoping you go ahead and blow that motor up so it quit leaking.
They need to put a new chip in there, yeah. What's that thing at 6,400 or something?
Just enough to keep the rods in it.
To get excited and amped up before race weekend. I mean, that's pretty easy. I love driving race cars, traveling and racing on the weekends. That's what I do for a living. So there's a high level of excitement and nervousness and all kinds of things coming up before a race. And it just builds up, and gets more intense the closer you get to the start.
Tonight, the stakes aren't quite so high. At the Dirty Mo Acres go-kart track at Dale Jr.'s home, the team gets away from the office for a while, but they can't seem to pull themselves away from racing.
It's kind of warm out here. Are you sweating just a little? Just a little toasty. I'm a little warm. Toasty. You? Yeah, just a little. We got a little wallet. If anybody finds a wallet or sees a wallet or wants to track down a wallet, this is the time. Don't flip me. We'll go out there in the berry bushes and have to scuffle.
I gotta work in the morning too.
Yeah, me too.
That's Dale Jr. in the number 88 cart, of course, starting near the back of the pack. Ever the true gentleman, but also ever the true competitor. If there's any doubt just how much the number 88 team loves what they do, seeing how they spend their time off should clear it up. Rick Hendrick is fond of saying, you win as a team, you lose as a team, you live as a team. Tonight is no exception. But for Dale Jr., this win won't count in the points.
Ain't a big winner. That's pretty fun. Up on the hill. Blast right there.
Dude, I knew if I kept chopping that corner like that, I was gonna get punted. That's all right. That was pretty fun. Man. Thanks a lot.
Had a good day.
I'm ready to go again. That was awesome.
We're gonna get that damn roller out. We're gonna be practicing
Back at Hendrick, meanwhile, in the paint and decal department, the pace is somewhat less relaxed. The 2009 season isn't even in the books, and the 2010 paint out is ready to be inked. The Hendrick Paint Department is a state-of-the-art facility that would make any auto body shop drool. Thousands of square feet of prep space, 6 ventilated spray bays, and climate-controlled areas for drying, not to mention some of the most highly skilled technicians in the business.
Compared to this right here now. That's where I'm going.
They create complex paint schemes for an average of 2 cars per week. The number 88 car will have a whole new appearance next year. A new season, a fresh look, a clean start. The paint scheme had to be personally approved by Dale Jr., and the word is, he can't wait to drive it.
My name's Mike Smith. I work with Hendrick Motorsports. 2 or 3 of us actually can do the decals, but I usually do most all of them. Usually we start with the numbers. The numbers actually have to be in a certain position. NASCAR says they have to be a certain size. One of the main things on these cars is we try to keep all the decals as straight as possible. We represent the sponsors, and we want their logo to look good. have parts of the car that are actually what they call prime parts. They're the ones that get the most exposure from TV. So these parts are more expensive to the sponsors. I did a schematic for each one of the cars. It shows in detail where the decals actually go to.
Tonight, Hendrick Motorsports is celebrating its 25th anniversary. Everyone from Rick Hendrick right on through to the pit crew and their families are gathered for the movie premiere of the documentary, Together, the Hendrick Motorsports Story. It's a chance for Dale Jr. to spend a little time with the wide array of folks who make up the Hendrick organization.
I think it's a lot of fun. Interested in seeing how the movie is and learn a little bit more about Rick and hopefully see some friends while we're at it. It's fun to go out to these events.
And to rub elbows with some of its other drivers. Jeff Gordon is here, and Jimmy Johnson. And there's Darrell Walton, the most colorful man in this room, and perhaps any other. From one premiere onto another, the paint on the 2010 car has dried. Today, Dale Jr. and his team are seeing it for the first time. The unveiling of a new paint out is always a big moment. Maybe it's because precision is so pivotal in this sport that paint design is the one thing that's almost purely aesthetic. Or maybe it's just that new paint steers a team into the future toward hope and anticipation.
Want to see the new car? Have you seen it?
Can I lie?
Yeah.
I have seen it.
So you're lying or telling the truth?
I don't know, you figured that one out.
Hey, Dave. You're acting a little nervous.
This new scheme is bold, simple, an instant classic. And it's an instant hit with the number 88 team.
I got a real serious question. We're trying to decide on what to do with the splitter up there, whether to leave it all white or paint the top green or leave the face white.
Can you take them home?
Yeah. Top. We're gonna leave it all white, or we can paint the top green, leave the face white. All white?
Green.
You're saying green.
How many vote white?
They said green.
Y'all want to do a vote? How many vote white? Raise your hand. Green top, white.
What it is.
That was easy. Try to do that more often.
Really excited about next year because the new paint scheme on the car. We're supposed to do some work on the truck, so we got some new colors. It represents a new beginning, refreshes ourselves, and we'll go ahead and be really excited about having a real successful year next year.
Something that's always a hit with the number 88 team, lunchtime. Refueling, like everything else here, is a team sport. The camaraderie between Dale Jr. and his teammates is real. These are the people he trusts his life to every Sunday of the week. Trust like that can't help but grow into true friendship. This is Dale Jr.'s moment, his chance to adjust the seating, throttle position, steering, and anything else he brings to the team's attention. Wherever Sunday's race is, Dale Jr. has driven it before. He's anticipated that track's conditions, and he is determined to have the right car to meet them.
You know, we moved all the pedals away from you.
Was that the first week?
No.
All right, see, it shouldn't have. Once I got my heel
But
where
that's the first time you run
once
that
I got my heel where I could slide, it was just like this.
Dale Jr. alone will pilot this car on Sunday, and he's not shy about asking for changes. Ultimately, it's his specifications that must be met.
And this thing, I got no range of motion. You need to loosen it, turn it counterclockwise around the pipe about just a quarter inch. That's the current end. That's better.
Confidence in your team and confidence in your car. Driving at speeds approaching 200 miles per hour requires it. This is no informal meet and greet between car and driver. The clock is winding down and pressure is mounting.
Before we load the car, we'll put the raised carburetor and intake on today. We'll basically nut and bolt the whole engine, make sure nothing falls off, everything's good. Make sure all the lines are tight. Make sure there's no fluid leaks. Basically gets done at the engine shop, and then we do it again here before it gets loaded, so it kind of just a double checklist.
Though much of what happens here comes down to instinct, none of it relies on memory. The official load-in checklist for the number 88 car is 250 items long, leaving nothing to chance.
The checklist is just a reminder. You should know what you're checking, but a lot of times what I'll do is I'll go through and then I'll go look at the checklist, start turning it off, and I'll say, oh, I forgot that. It's more of a reminder than anything else.
Given what's at stake, the fierce competitiveness of NASCAR, and the great potential for danger, it is an overkill to triple and even quadruple check every last system on the car.
Dropping the grid down, and we're going to mark the spots on the car where the templates run.
NASCAR rules and specifications are exacting. Body templates must conform to within hundredths of an inch. Any deviation from official specifications could lead to fines and even disqualification on race day. Either it's right or it isn't. There's no room for error. And it builds as the week of preparation is funneled into a single day of reckoning. Now, a fresh car is on its way to a new chance at glory. Even after 96 hours of preparation, things can and do go wrong at the track. Dale Jr.'s team packs some extras just for such occasions. A spare engine, transmission, suspension, and electrical components. And just in case things really go sideways, there's a backup car. Will Sunday belong to Dale Earnhardt Jr. and the number 88 team? 6 days of intense anticipation all come down to this. One car and one driver, with an incredibly devoted team behind him. There's nothing left to do now but race.